Hello, Tarragar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today is Max Effort Bench Day, and it was a great day. I want to state up front because people don't seem to grasp this. I'm still getting the comments. I am not on a cut. I have not been on a cut at any point in 2019. I am not trying to lose weight. I am trying to just stay under 220 in recomp, which we're successfully doing while gaining as much strength as I can. So now that that's out of the way, so hopefully that clarifies that. Because people keep saying, you know, Jason, you don't ever reach your goals. Well, that is my goal, and I am reaching it. I mean, you guys can tell I'm getting slowly leaner. It's not going to be fast because I'm not cutting, but the recomp is actually working. I was 218 again on the scale today, and, you know, it's coming along. Today, I'm running a lot of chain weight, and what I'm going to do is going to be a regression on chain weight every other week, and then I'm going to increase band tension every other week. So it's pretty much the way I'm going to stagger my max effort work. And 100 pounds of chains. Now, arguably, I think we're losing just a little bit at the lockout because these chains are pretty much perfectly tuned for my squatting to give perfect accommodation. Because my range of motion is slightly shorter on the bench press and my squat, I think we're picking up just a little bit of difference. But it's not enough to matter because I'm just going to be consistent in the tracking of it, so it'll be okay. But for the record, I might be losing, 5 or 6 pounds of that chain weight. But we also have the lead chains and everything. But the actual chains that are coiling up at the bottom, that is 100 pounds of chains on each side, not counting the lead chains. And it's actually a hair over because my 12-pound chain is actually 12.1. So we're just going to call it 100 pounds, and that's how I'm marking it on my spreadsheet. I'm weakest at midpoint and lockout on bench. Fortunately, I'm not losing my power out of the bottom, but this was basically a max for me. And yes, this is only 285 on the bar. 285 on the bar, but we're getting up towards, 385 at the lockout. And locking it was hard. Like the pause was fine. Look, I'm explosive, then right there it slowed. And I'm just struggling to lock. Like, that looks fast, but it only looks fast because I've been doing a lot of speed work. That was a max for me. I think if I bumped it another 10 pounds, I would have failed. So that's where I'm going to mark it for today. But again, it's highlighting still where we know my weaknesses are. So doing this incline and a lot of tricep work is still going to be the way forward. Still going to be the way forward. I bumped the weight on the incline today because you know what? I felt strong on it warming up. So I'm like, let me go ahead and go to 245 instead of 240. I got the first 4 sets, right? Because what are we doing? We're doing 5x5 on the incline. Most of my assistance movements, I'm going to do 5x5, right? Accessory work for now, I'm working around 4 or 5 sets of 10. But this is an assistance movement, and it's general hypertrophy exercise. Good size and strength builder. It addresses the weak points on my bench. I think I've made a video, it won't be out for a while. I made a video already explaining how the incline carries over to bench, particularly for certain movement patterns. So where it actually works as an assistance movement. But in general, for me, this is, again, a major chest builder for me. And secondary tricep and delt builder. But I was happy with this because I've already said my goal on this is to get to 275 for my work sets. Get to 275 for work sets. And once I get there, we'll be good to go. I think that's going to give me about where I need to be on my bench when I can get to there with this. Now, does that mean we rotate incline out at that point? Not necessarily. We do that on a case-by-case basis. There might be a point to where if I stall too much on the incline, I might do weighted dips in place of it, right? But for now, the incline seems to be working well. And I think as long as my tricep strength keeps going up on the skull crushers, I think the incline will keep climbing. Because number one, we're getting better and more proficient at the incline, which will carry over to my flat bench. But for me, triceps have been a general weakness. And so if I can keep slowly getting my triceps stronger, that will carry over to my incline, which will carry over to my bench. So that's how accessory and assistance movements work. And people need to remember that. It all ties in together. It's about getting the flow of everything in your training, of looking at even the smaller exercises and using the smaller exercises to address weak points from a hypertrophy perspective that make your assistance movements continue to go up. And if your assistance movements continue to go up, those carry over to your main exercises, and then your main exercises have their own programming. Welcome to the life of an advanced lifter. But the whole concept behind this is that we PR all the time, right? And I made a whole series explaining conjugate. It's a 9-part series. So if you don't understand what's going on in this training, go watch that 9-part series. It will break it down for you guys. Yes, I know it's long. It's an hour and a half. But at least watch the first 3 or 4, and then it will put it really in perspective for you. Because again, there's some confusion as to what I'm doing, and that has its own playlist. So as I said last time, I'm going to do rows every workout now. And it just comes down to making sure that my back is strong, and it's extra grip training and everything else, and that's kind of a big deal. By me adding these rows, which are fantastic for rear delts and traps and everything else, what does that mean? That means I can skip my face pulls and crap like that. I don't want to do face pulls right now. I want to get bigger and stronger. Because I'm doing 5x5 on this 4 times a week, so doing it every main workout, that's 20 sets for my rear delts. Not even counting the side laterals. Those have some rear delt effect also. My rear delts are good. This gives me the extra trap work I need, the extra lat work I need, and by doing this, I don't have to try to mess with grip training every day. I hate messing with my pinch blocks. So by doing it this way, I can just do grip work on my 2 deadlift days. And since I'm getting additional grip training here, additional rear delt training, this really fills in the gaps a lot. And the thing I've noticed is that because there's no axial loading, nothing gets put on my lower back, I'm not getting the recovery issues. This exercise is really easy to recover from. You can do a lot of weekly volume on it. And because it's a great bench accessory, it's a great deadlift accessory, this will help fill in the weaknesses I might have on bench. Now, people will say, Jason, but your back is really, really big. Why do you need to do more of this? Because quite frankly, your back can never be too big as a power lifter. And I would much rather have extra muscle on my back at a given body weight than extra body fat. So we're going to continue to lean down. As you guys can see with some of these here, obviously, I still have love handles. I still have loose skin. But it's getting very obvious at this point that I'm losing body fat and have lost body fat this year. It's not massive amounts, but it is coming along. And that's what I've been telling you guys. This is just going to be a slow process. Because I want to gain strength while losing body fat. I don't want to go do a stupid cut. So what if it takes me a year and a half to get to the body fat that everyone thinks I should be at? If I gain strength the entire time I'm getting to that body fat, the end result is that I'm always stronger. Isn't that what we want as a strength athlete? We want to be as stacked and as lean as possible for any given weight class. So if I can over time, even if it takes me, a year to do it, I drop another 10 pounds of body fat. And I get stronger. Well, how competitive does that make me? And I don't mean competitive in the open, guys. I'm a masters athlete. You guys better go look at some of the records. National records, state records, world records for masters lifters. I don't have to squat 700 pounds to have a world record. Okay? It's not necessary. Welcome to Masters Lifting. I just need to be super competitive. And I think what I'm doing now will get me there. And I feel like everything's on point. I feel like right now my training is flowing good. I'm recovering perfectly. I'm slowly, very slowly getting stronger and getting leaner, but I feel good. My body's not beat up, and it's all flowing. And I'm actually enjoying my workouts. And I have to say, man, this new setup of having this extra space to train, just an overall cleaner feel to the room, everything really organized. This makes training so much easier and nicer. It's just like I can just come in and train. Everything's already organized the way I want it. I can focus on my workout and just come in and get it done. It's nice. It's really nice. Like, I'm so happy with this setup. And I got a lot of compliments yesterday, people seeing me in this for the first time. It's phenomenal. Oh, I bumped the weight on these today. Now, I struggled on the 5th set. It was tough. And for those curious, who are like, I can't tell how much weight. All right, do the math, guys. I've got an 18-pound bar. That is the advertised weight. No, I've never measured it. That's what the manufacturer of the bar says it weighs. They claim it's an 18-pound bar. Right? Got a 25, a 10, and a 5 on each side. Okay? 98 pounds. All right, so hopefully that's clear. Hopefully people can do the math. Then we did the chains for the laterals. And here you guys are going to see, and I'm not ashamed of where I'm at, so I don't mind. I'm wearing running shorts, men's running shorts. Yes, you can see my love handles big time on this. I've got loose skin. I got love handles still, right? But I'm leaner than I was. And you know what? I'm a 42-year-old man who competes in strength sports. I don't give a shit if I've got some love handles. If you don't like my love handles, deal with it. They will eventually go away because I'm going to continue to get leaner. I've gotten leaner, obviously, every month at this point, slowly but surely. They're eventually going to go away. They're eventually going to go away. They'll happen when they happen. That's just where I genetically store the most fat. But, you know, that's the other difference, man. You guys got to be confident in who you are. It's like this is the biggest plague we have in this whole fitness world. Of all these guys who are so insecure that they think they can't have their shirt off unless they're at their best. I'm like, dude, I mean, I'm going to be honest, man. When you guys act that way, you sound like a bitch. You really do. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible to women. But seriously, guys. Seriously. I can tell most of you guys right now that even if you were where I'm at in terms of body fat, you're not going to have women be disgusted. All right, you're not going to put women off or any of this other nonsense. You guys get ridiculous with this stuff. You get ridiculous. But over to the point. These went good today. These with the chains, it's a totally different animal, by the way. Yes, it unloads at the bottom, but the bottom is not that important on this. But it just, when those chains swing, just the jerk on the way back down, just that extra eccentric effect you feel at the top when this chain swings back down, it's hard. But I definitely feel these a lot in my shoulders. And because I don't have dumbbells this heavy, this is heavier than any dumbbells I have. This allows me to continue to load these. And the other interesting thing, since I'm doing all this, would be dumbbell work with these little canvas handles. It's a little bit of extra grip work. It's slightly harder to grip. I'm getting just kind of grip training with everything. But I just like the chains. I mean, the chains are fun. As much as I might joke about fluff and pump work, it just feels different with chains. When you do it with chains, it's just kind of like, oh man, at least I feel a little more hardcore. I don't feel like I'm doing silly fluff. And as funny as that sounds, that attitude matters. You know, psychology is everything to your training. Then I did my hammer curls, and I went ahead and I did my 5 sets of 10 with these today, and I feel like I'm going to be able to increase the weight on this soon. Now, this first set, I didn't quite lean forward enough, so I'm not quite getting the lockout as much at the bottom. And then after that, I started focusing on leaning forward a hair more. Why? Because it lets me go ahead and get the full range of motion at the bottom easier because of that handle. And we're raising the front anyways. This is not a single joint exercise. Notice I'm having that shoulder movement. That is one of the functions of the bicep. So by doing it in a hammer position and having that movement of the shoulder, we're getting a more total complete arm exercise, which is good because this takes that pressure off my tendon that gets really messed up with certain types of curls and with chin-ups for me, which I've had some inflammation in. I don't feel any of it on this. So it's really nice. So I'm still getting bicep work. Now, do we need more volume? Yeah, we need more volume, but 20 sets of rows every week. Then we do the hammer curls. But if I do 10 sets of these every week, even though we wouldn't think of it as the highest quality direct bicep work, that's arguable. We can make up for that with volume. But getting that full range of motion helps. But then all the brachialis and radial brachialis and the forearm training and everything involved with it, right? This is just going to help thicken up my arms overall, which is what we need. We need the thicker arms to improve the bench press. That's one of the main reasons I'm doing this. Plus, it'll thicken up everything I need for rows. Well, if I get stronger at those rows that I'm doing 20 sets of every week, isn't that going to thicken my whole upper body up? Isn't that going to give me a better support for deadlifting and benching? Yeah. So it's what it all comes down to, guys. We are trying to just thicken up in the right places to get as strong as possible. And like I said, every ounce of muscle that I can put on at any given body weight is recomp. It's much better to have an extra 3 pounds of muscle than an extra 3 pounds of fat if you're going to be at any given weight in a weight class. Right? And I am focusing on putting the muscle on in ways that will help my big three. So we're good to go. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.